Welcome to Scorched Earth and the general mid-month reading for the sign of Taurus, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of November. I hope you're well. I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot for you today. So, if you haven't seen these readings before, I structure them slightly differently to the main monthly readings in so much as we are looking for the lesson. I believe that there is wisdom, or indeed a lesson, contained in every interaction and experience that we have if we are open to see it, and too often we are not, because we get bogged down with the minutiae of our day-to-day existences. I kind of forget that we're special, you know, and that there is a plan and that there is something bigger going on and that we are here to learn. And so, to that end, this is kind of like an exercise in perspective. I'll shut the window in a moment. What we're going to do is pull 3 cards for your current energy and see where you are right now, like an energetic snapshot. And then from there, we're going to pull 3 cards and try and work out why it is that you're in this energy in the first place. Something undoubtedly will be shown to you in terms of, you know, how you see yourself or how you process, you know, it's those internal insights that we're looking for. But sometimes it's trying to show you that it's time to let things go, it's time to create space for new things to come in. We won't know until the cards hit the table specifically. And then from there, we'll get some cards of advice and see if we can't help you navigate this particular bit of your energy a little more easily. Oh, shut up. Fucking window, right? I don't know what's going on outside. Like, there was a time where it was busy down here if there were cars all the way along this side of the street, but there's always cars along this side of the street. Now they're going down the other side of the street and it's filling up everywhere. So let's have a look. I have 3 cards for Taurus's current energy, please. Oh boy, goodness. Well, I asked for 3 cards and I've got 3 cards. They all jumped out at once. We've got the Sun, we've got the High Priestess, and we've got the 6 of Wands. Right, I'm going to take those cards on the face of them, put them down there. Do we need another one? I don't think that we do. We've got this 9 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here, followed by the Son of Cups, which is Piscean energy. It's talking about managing your resources really rather well at the moment, Taurus. And, you know, if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you'll know that I see the Pentacles as energetic currency. So it's not just about money and material things. It's about where you put your time and your care and your effort, your energy generally, you know. And we've got this Knight of Cups behind it. Now, this Knight of Cups feels to me like it is you and your approach rather than some sort of approach towards you, because it's sitting in between the 10 of Pentacles. And it's actually a really rather beautiful combination, because you know, the 10 of Pentacles, yes, it can be complete material fulfillment, but more than that, it speaks to the security and the stability that is so important for a Taurus. Now, over the last couple of years, we've done a lot of work in detangling a reliance on stability and security outside of yourself, and instead fostering that internally. And this says to me that, I mean, there are a lot of very good cards here, Taurus. It says to me that you've done a really exceptional job of this. And this Son of Cups going towards the 9 of Pentacles as it is, it makes me feel that there's a very, very much a reflective frame of mind that you are now employing in almost everything. It's happening on the fly, rather than this being, you know, reflection being something that you go back to, you know, years later. It's almost like as things are happening, as you are responding to things, you are kind of catching yourself and checking yourself and like, well, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Right, yeah, and sorting it out as you go, but with a very open heart, which is lovely to see. It's very lovely to see. But that constant and consistent checking of where your energy is going, making sure it's going in the right place, and making sure you've not got any leaks anywhere, you know. But the shoring up of any leaks doesn't need to come by way of, you know, really fierce boundaries, although I think that perhaps you're employing them much better than you've ever done before, because we have got feathers sitting around there. It's like knowing that it is okay for you to remain soft, and if you're in a situation where that is not valued, then moving away from that situation and not having any particular concerns about it either way. Now, when we come down to the cards that we've got on the table here, we have the Sun, which is the card of Leo in the Major Arcana. We have the High Priestess, Pisces card, and we have the Six of Wands, which is another Leo card. And it's just extraordinary, actually. Now, when I see the High Priestess come out for you, Taurus, it always gladdens my heart, because there was the longest time where you were not able to trust your intuition. You know, the words that were whispered into your soul by your higher self sometimes got lost in the noise of everything else that was going on, the overthinking and all that kind of thing. But it's here, and it's here really prominently. Now, there's that moon there on the High Priestess, which talks to the subconscious. It talks to the bits of you that are hidden. And if the moon is the subconscious, then for me the Sun must mean consciousness, right? As well as all of the other things that it means. So we've got these two Major Arcana cards coming out in total balance. You know, we've got an alignment of the subconscious and the conscious mind, but almost with the High Priestess working as the bridge between the two. And she is a channel, that's what she does. The Sun card is gloriously positive. It's the most positive card in the deck. Now, I always say no tarot card is all positive or all negative, but honestly, with the surrounding cards, it's very difficult to see it in any other way. And it feels like an explosion of self, honestly, that in the best possible way that's gone on with you recently, Taurus. It feels like you've really stepped into something and it's lighting you up. Now, whether this is, it could be related to something outside of you, you know, something that's going very, very well at the moment, but it feels like this is all emanating from the center. See it right there, it's just an explosion of joy, of happiness, of the will to live. And it's almost accelerating. We've got the Six of Wands here, which is actually a really nice combination of both of these cards. We've got the colours in the rainbow from the Sun, but we've also got, you know, the dark here. It's almost like there's a balance. There's a tremendous balance going on, which means that you at the moment are incredibly stable, and more than that, you're doing well. It's thriving, Taurus, is what this is. Absolutely thriving. I'm going to pull a clarifier because, or two, which one's on? I don't know. Tell me about this High Priestess. Man, indeed. What do we have here? We have the Justice card. Nice. Ooh, we've got two cards came out together there. We've got the Two of Wands and we've got the Death card. And this Two of Wands is, you know, it's given to be a crossroads energy. And sometimes I read it when it comes out in the middle like this as an either or. But I'm not seeing it that way today. It feels like a both. But what I heard when this came out here is that there is a lack of fear now in walking through the doorways. I mean, the Death card, there's a portal there. But you enter the portal by way of looking at yourself. And it seems to me that you are doing this so well now that there is no fear associated with it. There is only joy. At the exploration of self. And this Justice card's been coming up an awful lot recently. We've got the no, we haven't. The other Pisces card. We've got the Hanged Man here. It talks about wisdom that is gained through changing your perspective. And you haven't just changed your perspective, Taurus, you've just exploded straight through it, is how it feels here. And this Two of Wands, then, rather than becoming this crossroads energy, feels more like the world is my oyster, what am I going to do with it? Like, new layers of life have been revealed to you, and that's where you once before saw challenges, you saw difficulties, rather. Now you see adventures. And I feel part of you internally is in a state of constant surprise. That's how it feels. Constant surprise. Whoa, yeah, I'm really up for that. God, isn't that interesting? You know, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have touched this with somebody else's barge pole, and yet here it is. It's like a great rebalancing. And in some ways, as I'm looking at this here, the capacity for rebirth is really, really strong. It's indicated very strongly. I mean, you could say that there's an emergence from darkness, but actually, no. I'm not feeling that for you, because I don't feel like you've been sat in a dark place. More, there is a sense of wonder that there was this whole, you know, dark cave system that you didn't know about, that you are now confident you can explore. Speaking metaphorically, of course, about your internal space, that's holding all sorts of treasure that you weren't aware existed. It's a reading, it's an energy of great empowerment and great enthusiasm to engage with everything, which I like very much. Let's have a look and see why you are there, although it feels like it's a rather redundant question. Why is Taurus in this energy? A moment, please. Oh, thank you. Ooh, the first card out is the Lover's card. Gemini, Major Arcana again. Please. Ace of Cups. And the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I mean, Taurus, I don't know if you stopped recently and given yourself a pat on the back, but, you know, this mountainous imagery, I'm seeing it everywhere. And also this Nine of Swords. Like, what we're looking at here is a conquering of that which would hold you back in the past. I'll drop some cards down here. What have we got? I don't usually take cards that fall to the right, you know that, because I've usually just dropped them. But we've got the Seven of Wands and we've got the Seven of Cups. Very spiritual numbers, 7. You know, they talk about, I don't talk about all sorts of things, but there's a great spiritual movement here with both of these cards. This one talks about the need to defend oneself, you know, protect oneself, and we know, you know, protective mechanisms that we put in place that limit us, whilst ignoring the ones that would actually see our growth move forward. Like, we've done a lot of work on that, Taurus, together. But we've also got the Seven of Cups, and that is something that has defined your experience for quite a long time, because it's that emotional confusion. It's like, why does nobody do things the same way that I do? Why is nobody as thoughtful as I am? Why does nobody care as much as I do sometimes? And what we've got here is, like I said, it's a conquering of these. It's a conquering of this which plagued you so very hard, the overthinking, you know, the seeing monsters when they weren't necessarily there, managing to think yourself into a hole all the time. You know, oh shit, did I not call you? I did. Your November reading was you shine with a light all of your own. Well, we're seeing it right here, Taurus. And it's coming right from you. It's like I said, it's exploding out from the center. It's absolutely extraordinary, right? Look at the colors on that card. They're beautiful. The life that you desire, you create for yourself. Now, in some ways, Taurus has never needed to be told that, because you're very good at building outside of you. But it was always at the expense of the attention inside. Well, now you've flipped that around. Now you've become more comfortable with the idea that work comes in many different forms, and it doesn't necessarily involve blood, sweat and tears to get what it is that you want, but sometimes it's about sitting back and looking at why you want those things in the first place. You know, are you trying to live up to some sort of standard outside of yourself? You know, abundance comes in many forms, just as work comes in many forms. And this year, I think, has done an awful lot in shifting what it is that you think that you want from your life, right? And I'm just love the fact that the Ace of Cups has come out there again, because it's coming back to this sense of being emotionally reborn. Like the Sun card here. It's like that point of creation. You know, if we are to believe the origins of the universe came from the Big Bang, then there was nothing, and then there was just an explosion which continues to accelerate outwards. And that's how your rebirth into the world, Taurus, feels like it's taking place. But that's a card of conscious co-creation, that's a card of manifestation, but it's a card of wearing it lightly. It's not a card of having to, you know, flagellate yourself constantly. It's a card of absolutely incinerating this. Like, this isn't necessary. This does not form part of your existence moving forward, because you've started again. And if you'll excuse the pun, you've really grabbed the bull by the horns with this one. I mean, I'm looking at this Three of Pentacles here, and it does talk about working with other people, but it talks about building, right? So you've got card of conscious co-creation, and then you've got how it is that you bring it into existence. Maybe it is with other people, maybe it is not. You know, maybe this is just things that you're doing for yourself. But it's the mountain that I'm looking at here. It is the potential challenges that are ahead, but it's the way that you're focusing it. We've got all of these colours here on the Lover's card, you see them? And then we've got them replicated across down here. Now, this looks to me like a foundation. It looks like the building of something, the planning of something. But it's taking all of those colours. It's like when everything looks bleak, you bring your colours to the situation and you start crafting a plan, right? We're going to do this and this and this, and it's going to all be cool, you know? I'm not talking about the cult of positivity, because I've said a number of times I think that that's a really, really damaging thing. And actually, of all the signs, I think Taurus have been the ones who've been the greatest casualties of that particular mode of thinking. It's okay, or don't think about it. No, I'm being silly, I'm being oversensitive, I'm being all of these things. No. Sometimes you have to sit down and look at that demon in the eye and see what it has to say. And once you've heard it, you can go, I've heard you, you can leave now. That's cool. Thank you for the information. Because you're holding the light and the dark in this delicate balance, a delicate but stable balance, from here on out, the challenges are just adventures. There's nothing that life can throw at you that you can't deal with. Let's not forget you've got a 100% hit rate of surviving everything that you've been through so far, right? It's pretty good odds. Honestly, I feel this delight, almost glee, about the way that you can move at this point, at this time. It's a reward for sure to feel like that. Let me here's some advice for Taurus, please. We have got the Two of Cups, the Mother of Cups, and the Three of Swords. But the Three of Swords has turned up in the reverse, which I like very, very much. And we have the Empress card at the bottom of the deck. Taurian energy right there. But look how it's a bright tree shining in the dark, right? Where once there was a space that was filled with great sorrow and sadness and unkindness to yourself, now you can stand there and you just illuminate the darkness with who you are. It's a wonderful, wonderful depiction of the card, actually, you know, with a nod to the feminine energy of the Empress, the divine feminine, as it were. But it's the creativity that's in the chaos, you know? It's like chaos has been the one thing that Taurians have been afraid of for such a long time, but as they have embraced it and they have found their own light, it's like you can be that stable structure in the darkness. And realize that you're part of an ecosystem that is more than just the 6 feet around, you know, the base of your trunk. There's something much bigger going on here. But the advice that you've got this month is to focus really hard on relationships. Right? We've got this Two of Cups and the Mother of Cups, and the Mother of Cups is a swan, and she's pointing there. She's pointing at these. Relationships are a big focus for you in the last couple of weeks of this month. And she's got her cup there, but interestingly, in a normal Queen of Cups situation, she's actually usually gazing at it and she's paying no attention to what's outside of her. But instead, here, this Ace of Cups is kind of under her wing. It's not too far away from her, but she's looking at something else. This is like, pay attention to your relationships and how you show up in relationships, what you give in relationships, and what you choose to not give in relationships, because it seems like there's more wisdom for you to be acquired in this last 2 weeks if you look at this, right? Don't be just giving this to everyone, which you're not anyway. You know, you reserve what you need for you, and then what is left over goes into relationships. So maybe consider having a look at whether perhaps some way you might be over investing just a little bit. Maybe the person that you are dealing with, whether this is a romantic partner or anyone else, because the Two of Cups isn't necessarily just about, you know, two people who meet and fall in love, right? This can be business partners. This can be relationships that you have with your siblings, relationships that you have with your friends, with your children even. Like I said, when you drill down into it, it's about how you experience intimacy. And so the best use of your energy is to quietly observe, objectively observe what is going on in all of your relationships around you at the moment, because we've got this Three of Swords here, but in the reverse there's something to be healed here for you, something that previously was quite wounding to you. Perhaps you have an opportunity in the last couple of weeks here to bring some peace to this situation for yourself. And it doesn't necessarily come by way of a person appearing in front of you and delivering that peace to you. Rather, it's about you seeing what is there and going, okay, that's fine. You know, I've let this go. Like, maybe it's even realizing that you have let something go. You have got some sort of clarity on it. I mean, you could just bump into somebody and that rush of feelings that you used to have for that person, whether it was romantic or otherwise, just isn't there. And that's an indication to you that you've moved on. But where the Three of Swords indicates that really visceral cutting pain that we all understand when we look directly at that card. I mean, it's the one card that doesn't really need to be explained to people, usually. This way round indicates that gravity is doing its work. Maybe it has been doing its work and is pulling these swords out. You know, it's likely as much an opportunity to stand there and see how much you have grown and how much you have developed and how little relevance these older painful situations have now, other than what it is that they've taught you, you know. This is very cool, Taurus. I like this very much. So, I hope this helped. I'm really liking it for you. It's a very, very cool energy to be in. I have the NBs right now. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.